from the 19th, 20th century.
Yeah, well, he's doing.
And anyone have an idea what gate is this? What gate of Jerusalem?
Jaffa?
No, it's the biggest gate in the city. This is Damascus Gate. Damascus Gate. So we have 8 gates in Jerusalem, 34 towers. You see towers here, 34 towers. And it's around 2.5 miles long. So this is Damascus Gate. And you can see an old picture. How can we know this is an old picture? Because you see the level of the ground is exactly on the gate. Today, excavations has took place down this gate to the left side and the right side. And they found another gate, an older gate from the time of Emperor Hadrian, 135 AD. So this is from the 1920s, probably. And this is how Damascus Gate looked today. You see here, below the gate itself, the plaza, and below the plaza to the left, you see an arch. Do you see this arch? So this arch is from the 2nd century AD. So imagine one arch is here, down to the left, and another arch is below it, and another arch to the right of it, okay? Here, again, I'll show you here, one arch, below it another big arch, and then the third arch. So Jerusalem was different in the 2nd century AD. So what we see, the Damascus Gate is very modern, 400 years of history, which is very modern, and it was built in the 16th century. The reason for building the walls of Jerusalem and the gates is Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent had to protect Jerusalem. And we know that there was a crusade in the 16th century. Which empire in Europe was so strong in the 16th century? Do you have any idea? Big empire, conquered 1/3 of the world.
Ottoman?
In the West, Ottoman, yes, they were here, correct. But in the West, Spain, King Carlos IV, was thinking to do another crusade to Jerusalem. So Sultan the Magnificent built the walls. This is when Spain reached the Philippines even. This is another picture of Damascus Gate. And can you recognize some of the cars? This is old cars, right? From the 30s. So you see, this is the level. They used to park the cars outside the gate. And from here, these cars used to go to Damascus. And one of the reasons it was called Damascus Gate, all right? Because if you make a straight line from this gate all the way straight, around like less than maybe probably 450 miles, you reach Damascus within a day drive. Look at the women, they're carrying baskets. You see, they come from the villages, they're carrying baskets. And look at the people here selling their vegetables here. And actually, till today, not much things changed. There's still women from the villages come to Jerusalem, especially Damascus Gate, to sell their goodies. But I want you to look at the windows here. You see windows here? This is where the Turkish soldier will stand there for security. And this is where the Jordanian soldier, during the Jordanian time, will take also security. Today, Israeli soldiers stands here. I want you to see these lines. You see open lines, open lines. These are lines. These are lines where they shoot bows and arrows for their enemy. Now, earlier in history, they didn't have much weapons, right? They used arrows and didn't have the invention of the powder, the gun, early times in the Mamluk period and earlier. But with the Turks, when they came here, they made niches below the lines. I don't know if you see a niche here. You see a niche? This niche is exactly just to sniper the enemies. So they're going to be protected inside and sniper the enemies. So this is a architect of walls in Turkish period. So this is a little bit north of Damascus Gate. Today it's so different, and you see everyone here selling their oranges, selling their food. And what is interesting in this picture, you can see the walls built on the bedrock. You see here, the walls of Jerusalem. And then you see here inside the people living in the old city. You have to understand, like in the 1800s, there was nothing outside the old city of Jerusalem. Like everything was inside because outside was dangerous. Outside was like not much people populated. And the Turkish soldiers will...
Hello.
Hello. And
Good.
once
How you doing? Miss Productive.
Good.
This morning. Got my hair washed.
1 second, all right? 1 second. Sitrag, if you can like put silent for...
Yes, I did.
All right. So the old city was so much populated inside, but outside, not populated at all. Only the last 250 years, there are people living outside Jerusalem. One of the main reasons why people started to live outside because of malaria. 1830s, a big malaria infection took place in the old city. So they had the Jews that lived there, the Muslims and the Christians have to live outside the old city for a period. So this is the reason they left and expanded. So Muslims expanded to the east. Here is the east. You see the Mount of Olives in the far little bit. You see the Mount of Olives. And Jews expanded to the west of Jerusalem. This is why we call East Jerusalem today, and we call West Jerusalem. Now, this is a unique old picture of the Temple Mount and the Dome of the Rock. What do you think is different here? Anyone can see anything different? There's a lot of differences I can recognize. But what do you think of today? What is the major difference in this picture than the modern picture of today? Anyone have an idea? All right, I'll give you a hint. You see the dome here? It's silver color, silver. So anytime you see a silver color, the dome itself means that it is before 1967. Only after 1967, the color of the dome changed to gold by the Jordanians. So this is before 1967. And here, what's unique, you see the Turkish army and the British. I see here British, all right, with some Turks, the British. So this is a very rare picture too, on the Dome of the Rock. And also we see here the army, the British army, trying to make things quiet in that area. So this is the picture of the Dome of the Rock today. You see how it's covered with gold. It's a very beautiful building, by the way, octagonal shape. See how many windows are here? Every window is different than the other. And there's a lot of verses from their Quran for their holy scripture. This is the neck, and this is the top, and the crescent on the top. So when Now, tourists were not allowed to enter inside the Dome of the Rock today. So when they visit, they just go around it. I will describe it for you a little bit in a way what to expect inside. Inside, if you enter, so there's 4 entrances, north, south, east, west. The only entrance is only from the west, and it's secured. So when you go there, you take 10 steps inside, you find another octagonal shape, all right? And then you go another 10 steps inside, you see a round shape. And in the middle of the round shape, you see a rock. This is why it's called the Dome of the Rock. What rock is this? Anyone have a clue? What rock is this? What happened there?
It's Mount Moriah.
Mount Moriah. Excellent. Excellent.
And Abraham was tested by God to sacrifice his only son.
Exactly. And according to Islam, Abraham sacrificed his son Ishmael. And according to Judaism, Abraham wanted to sacrifice his son Isaac. All right. So it's a very beautiful building, and it was one of the most oldest non-renovated buildings in the world from 691 AD. Imagine that. Standing on Mount Moriah. So this is another picture, but I like to show you this one because this is before 1967, which means before the war. And here is the area of the Western Wall. You see, that was a Muslim neighborhood here, Al-Mugharbe neighborhood. And people were living here. So after the war, they just erased all this neighborhood and made it the plaza of the Western Wall today. So it's kind of neat to see how the old city looked before. And you can see that there's not much construction here, you see, to the right side. Not much construction. Today there's some buildings and other constructions and trees. So this is the dome itself, and this is the mosque. This is the mosque. But here is a valley. And by the way, you don't see this valley, but originally in the Second Temple period, it's called the Triporium Valley. Triporium Valley. And from here, from Damascus Gate, I showed you earlier, which is in this direction, you walk all the way down through the valley in ancient times. Okay. So that was the western border of the city of David. Remember, David first built Jerusalem, and then King Solomon built on Mount Moriah. So that's the beginning of Jerusalem. This is later added. All right. This is where Iron Age, where Jerusalem of city of David and Solomon was. Only this vicinity. All right. Smaller vicinity. Now we see also how the mountains surrounding Jerusalem. And here we see the Dome of the Rock. And can you tell me from where is this view taken from? Where is this picture taken from? Anyone can tell me what direction? Excellent. The Mount of Olives. Excellent. And what valley is down here? Anyone can tell me? There are 3 valleys surrounds Jerusalem. This is the Kidron Valley. And there's another one here, but we can't see it, which is called the Hinnom Valley. And then we have the Triporium Valley. But anyway, anyone can recognize this building? Here, it's like a church. This is the Lutheran Church, built by Caesar Wilhelm II, 1898. So we know this picture is almost from 1898, okay? So some buildings of Jerusalem are so unique that we can date the picture from that building. It's a German church, by the way. German church. Anyone can tell me what is this? Have you ever seen this? Let me give you directions. That is the Mount of Olives outside. So this is the eastern gate from inside. Remember, you always see the eastern gate from the other side, but this one is the eastern gate from inside. Okay, 1 second, just I have to charge my computer, just 1 second. I'm gonna show you some pictures, just 1 second. Sorry, I was not ready. I was like starting in 1 hour, so I started, like I saw people entering, so I started the Zoom. Just give me 1 minute, I will charge my laptop. So for the meantime, get to know each other's. Everyone say where you're from and how did you like connect with Twins Tours. If everyone say a sentence, that would be cool.
I'll start. My name is Janet, and I was with Andre and Marie in 2013 for a Twins Tours of Jerusalem when my church school was visiting.
Great.
I'm Bruce, and I'm in the Dallas area, and I've met with Andre 3 times over in Israel for great tours, and met with Andre here in Dallas for a visit also.
My name is Brenda. I just got back. My husband and I just got back last Sunday, trying to figure out what day it is and what time I should sleep and what time I should wake up. It was a wonderful tour.
My name is Marquita, and I'm from Oklahoma. And we met Andre and Marie and all in probably 2010. And with our church, different churches where we've been, and many different tours and serving in different areas.
I'm Bill. I'm from Jackson, Wyoming. We were with Andre last October and early November for a 2-week tour with our church group, which was a great trip. So again, most of you have been there already, so you know how great Andre is and the amazing tours that he does give and the insight.
So my name is Don D'Antona. I am from Long Island, Shelter Rock Church. We got back from a trip in last year with Andre and Tony. And Andre stayed at our house for too short of a time. I think it was a couple of weeks. So wonderful person. Love him.
Hi, I'm David Warmke, and I live in New Braunfels, Texas. Andre's sort of second home. I know his father-in-law well, and have met Andre a number of times here. Never been in Israel with him, but he's done a men's roundup, and he and I've gotten to know each other pretty well via Zoom.
Great. More. Let's see who is here too.
Jordan Rakel, and we're from Washington, state of Washington. We went with Andre and Tony on a wonderful tour.
2019. Yay.
We miss you guys.
Hi, we're.
Great.
Yeah.
Who else would like to introduce himself?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Andre. This is Scott Bremen. I had the great opportunity to meet with you, and I see Brenda on there, and Tim and the crew from Sunnybrook Church last week had the most spiritual trip of a lifetime. Thank you so much for the insight and bringing the Bible to life. It's was a good experience, and now I just got done scooping 6 inches of snow here in northwestern Iowa. So, be happy to be where you're at right now. So thank you again.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, guys, I just finished a group. I told you that I'm going to be with a group 50 people, and it was amazing. It was amazing. The revelation that we received from God and the time we had, it was really anointed. So thank you for the people who came today from that tour. So great. All right. Who else is still here?
This is Andre. This is Tim Crumminga from South Dakota, being part of that trip last week. And again, thank you again for a wonderful experience.
Great, Tim. Great, Tim. Good.
Hi, this is Patty and Bill Radel. We had the opportunity to go to Israel last year. Great trip.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Great, great. So good. Let's continue. And I'm going to show you more old pictures of Jerusalem. And anyone can tell me where is this, what mountain and what church is here?
Is that the Mount of Olives and of the Church of the Nations?
Correct. The Church of All Nations is down here. And this is the Mount of Olives. And this is the Russian church on the top, if you see. This is all the way up here is the Augusta Victoria. All right. Augusta Victoria. And this is the Mount of Olives before building many churches on the top. Now, anyone can tell me, where is this?
Is that at the Jaffa Gate?
Excellent, at the Jaffa Gate. Look how people live. So look how people dress. And can anyone tell me what hotel is this one? With the green color.
I don't remember, but Brian buys Magnum bars down below.
Right. Correct. This is the Imperial Hotel is called. It was a very important hotel in the 20th, 19th century, but today it's like a motel, not a hotel. But it's very old and authentic from inside. So this is Jaffa Gate from outside. And I want you to look that there was shops even outside Jaffa Gate. Today, we don't have it, and look how the people dressed from the Turkish time, the Turkish Empire. This is called in Turkish Mashuku Halli, which means when the enemy come, this is where they pour the oil, the hot oil, to let the enemy far away from the gate. And why it's called Jaffa Gate? Anyone have a clue? Anyone have a clue? You'll get Magnum bar ice cream. I will send it to you.
Is it the way to Jaffa?
Correct. Excellent. Because if you make a straight line from here to Jaffa, and most pilgrims, before getting the flights and everything, used to come through the seaport. We know Mark Twain came, David Roberts came, and it was a long trip, yes, but they came through big ships through the seaport from Jaffa, take like horses, and all the way arrive to Jerusalem. So they called it Jaffa Gate. So people traveled through this gate for so many years. Now, another picture of Jaffa Gate. You see how people used to carry their goodies on camels? You see here? There's a camel, there's another camel. Anyone can tell me what is this wall here? Belongs to what? There's a wall here. A fortress belongs to what? Anyone have an idea?
Is that the Tower of David?
Excellent. Yes, that's the Tower of David, part of it. And this part is a Crusader architect, all right? And this part is Herodian architect. We can know from the stones, all right? Reused stones. And this is a moat, artificial moat that the Crusaders had built, never had water or crocodiles here. So this is how it looked in almost in the 20th century. Now, this is Jaffa Gate from inside, like the gate is back from us, but I want you to see how the daily life of the people. And you see here, there was here, I don't know if you read Cook's travel agency, there was a travel agency here. There was a taxi company here, like for cars and transportation. The post office is to the right. So they used more animals than like, I remember as a child also seeing like people in the old city with animals, with donkeys. Now this is really an old one. And this is Jaffa Gate. And here you have to understand that the gate was not opened like this. It was connected. But 1898, 19th century, Caesar Wilhelm II visited Jerusalem. So they had to breach the wall for him. Okay, so this is in the 16th, 17th, 18th century, it was closed. But you see a building here. This building do not exist today. Today it's an open plaza. And you see a tower on the top of Jaffa Gate. Now this tower, because of the Turkish Sultan, his 25th anniversary ruling, he had built 5 towers in the land of like Palestine at that time. And one of the towers was on Jaffa Gate. But after 1967, they took the tower out because it symbolizes the Turkish Empire. So this is Jaffa Gate, but today there is no tower at all. This is another picture of the tower. And how come I know this is Turkish soldiers? You see the Turkish flag to the right? You know the Turks, you know how many years did the Turks rule in Israel? In all the land, in all the area, not only Israel. They ruled for 400 years, 400 years. And they occupied the land, and they took the farming land, and they let the farmers pay taxes for them. So they collected a lot of tribute from the local people, and it was not a fair and just system. But anyway, 400 years. This is another picture of Jaffa Gate. And if you go today in Jaffa Gate and look here, you see this triangle like roof. Till today, the tiles of the roof is still on the wall. You can see it. So that was another shop. And this is the carriages that went all the way to Jaffa, bringing the pilgrims. And you see on the walls of the city, there were buildings here. So there were houses here outside Jaffa Gate. And this is around, this tower stood until like 1922, this picture, I can tell you. Also, this is how it looked in the past, and this is how it looks today, Jaffa Gate, modern days and old days. This is another picture of like the chariots, the carriages with the horses. A fast restaurant. This is like a restaurant from the 1920s for the tourists. So all the time, Jaffa Gate was a tourist attraction. Now, this is what we see is the Tower of David here, despite it's not related to David at all. That was a Turkish police station, and then it was earlier than that, Herod the Great, and nothing related to David here. Then it was a Crusader fortress. But anyway, so down Jaffa Gate, today there is a road, okay? But look how it looked before. There was no roads like paved like today, and there's houses outside to the right. I don't know if you can connect with this picture, but look how Jerusalem was way different than today, completely different. You see the Turkish flag here on the gate. Of course, it was taken out, but the same doors from the Turks. Guess what? They are 400 years old. Guess what? Israel today used the same doors. When there are some riots in the city and they want to catch someone, they close the doors, the same door. But of course, they took out the Turkish symbol Look at the kids holding the food, people entering the gate. And of course, they will close the gates at midnight. Like no one is allowed to go in and out, even earlier than midnight with the sunset. So we here see British Army. And you see here an inscription in Turkish and Arabic too, saying about the Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent building the walls and building this Jerusalem walls. And this is another picture, 1967 with the war. They closed the door and they opened the small one, the small door you see here. This door exists till today. Anyone can tell me what is this used for, the round shape to the right of the Gothic style arch? Anyone have a clue? Can guess, what is this symbol drawing? What is this drawing? What do you think is this symbol? Anyone have a clue? I know it's hard, but anyway, just guess, try to guess. What is this door exposed round shaped stones? Why they are here? There's another one here to the left, but you don't see it because of the bush. And there's another one here. You see another one here? So these are ones, because when they put the first level of stones here, they make a stone that is round for the pulleys to get the stones from here all the way up to the second level, you see? And then the pulleys to the third level. So these stones will help them to become like pulleys. This is the way of architect in ancient times. It's another picture of Jaffa Gate, how it looked. And this is all West Jerusalem. Imagine there was no buildings. And this is called here Meshkanot Chananim. This is actually the first Jewish neighborhood outside the walls of Jerusalem. And there was someone called Moses Montefiore, and he was very smart. He built homes for the Jews outside. And no one wants to live outside the city because it's not secured, right? So what he have done, he gave them the keys for the homes for free. So they are also smart. What they have done, during the day, they lived outside. During the night, they came back to the old city until the malaria broke. So they were able to go and live west of Jerusalem, expand to the west. This is also another picture of Jaffa Gate from far. And here is used to be part of the Hinnom Valley called the Sultan's Pool all the way down. See how all this big space is an area part of the Hinnom Valley. Also another picture of Jaffa Gate with the tower, And this is a church. This is the Orthodox Church. This is Orthodox Church. This is also the Orthodox Patriarch inside the old city of Jerusalem. And this is a school. This is my school, actually, from the early missionaries, 20th century. French missionaries. We see the army here, like how Jerusalem looked, how Jaffa Gate looked. Then this is another picture of Jerusalem. Anyone can tell me what is this church? This is Mount Zion. Anyone can tell me what is this church here? It's a German church, Dormition Abbey Church, built 1903, this church here. So this picture, from the buildings, we can know the period of history where the picture is from. Again, this is the Dome of the Rock. This is the mosque, Al-Aqsa Mosque here. And anyone can tell me again, what monument is this, or what valley? Anyone have a clue what valley is this?
Is that Kidron Valley?
Excellent. The Kidron Valley. Anyone can tell me what monument is this one?
Is that the one Absalom?
Exactly. This is from 2nd century BC, Absalom tomb. All right. So then you see how the people used to walk through the Kidron Valley, all right? Even in ancient times, they walked through the Kidron Valley. So we are talking now about not more than 200 years, this picture, but even very similar to what people lived in 2000 years, walking this valley. Who crossed this valley? Jesus. Remember when he's tired from the old city, from the people and the priests and the temples, he will cross the Kidron Valley to go to the Mount of Olives. King David also crossed this valley, running away from his son Absalom. All right, this is also the Garden of Gethsemane, the Garden of Gethsemane here. You see, before building the church, the Garden of Gethsemane. This is the Russian Orthodox Church, the Russian Orthodox Church. This is the Mount of Olives. Was not much buildings, not much buildings. Now this is the Church of All Nations. You see how the woman carrying the water? All right. And this is the Russian Orthodox that was built. This is 1930. We know the church was built in the 1930. Again, the Mount of Olives with Gethsemane Church. This is a general picture of inside the Dome of the Rock, this area. And you see the tombs. Can you tell me what tombs are there? Are there Jewish or Christian or Muslim tombs here?
Those are Jewish.
All right. Okay. That is east of Lion's Gate. And just to let you know, this is Muslim tombs, Muslim tombs. The adjacent ones in opposite is the Jewish tombs. But anyway, it's very hard to know, but because we know the location, but good. And we see here a picture of probably, this is the Sheikh. You know what is the Sheikh, right? It's an important Muslim figure with one of the Turkish. I can read his name, Sheikh Bislam ibn Sa'id. Okay. And this is Ali Akram Ali Bey. Bey in Turkish is like someone who is on authority. It's like a general, Bey, like a general. So, and this is in the area of the Dome. And look how they dress. You see how they dress, the abaya, we say, and like the igal and the hatta on his head. And this is, we call it tarbush in Turkish. You see here, the top, tarbush. By the way, the Turks were just using the land a lot, so they collected so much taxes. They didn't care about it. They cared about taxes. Okay, anyone can tell me where is this? I'm gonna give you a hint. What is this?
Well, that's the Mediterranean Sea.
Correct.
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv, very good. Excellent, Tel Aviv, very good. Tel Aviv was the first Jewish neighborhood outside Jaffa. Can anyone tell me, all right, what part is Jaffa? You see here?
Yeah.
You see, this is Jaffa. Now, 66 Jewish families moved from Jaffa all the way on sand dunes in 1909. So has started Tel Aviv. So say modern city too today. So this is like modern streets. So this picture is after 1909, all right? So probably 1940s. And by the way, we call this beach not Tel Aviv Beach. We call it Jerusalem Beach. You know why? Because all the Jerusalemites, we do not have a beach, but all of them go to Tel Aviv for the water and the beach. So they call it Jerusalem Beach after the Jerusalemites because they go a lot there. So Jaffa, any stories in the Bible? Who went from the seaport of Jaffa all the way to Nineveh? Remember what is his name?
All the way to where?
Nineveh.
Oh, Jonah.
Jonah, very good, very good. And Nineveh is supposed to be their enemies, right? Gentiles. So anyway, and what happened also in Jaffa in the New Testament? Who received a vision?
Peter.
Peter. Shimon received a vision to go all the way to Caesarea. And how he will go to Caesarea? So north of here, we have Caesarea. How he will go to Caesarea? What do you think?
By boat.
Excellent. By boat, of course. By boat. By boat is the main transportation at that time. It would take him a long time to go to meet Cornelius, like through the chariots and the road and the sand dunes. Of course. And remember King Hiram in Syria, he brought wood to Jaffa, right? For King David to use. How did he will bring all the wood? Easy, on the boats, right? On the boats to the seaport of Jaffa. And you have to understand, Jaffa is the oldest seaport in the world, 4,000 years, 4,000 BC. So the oldest seaport ever in the world started in Jaffa. So it's a biblical place. Anyone can tell me, where is this? This is the old city of Jerusalem, but what is a famous street here? I'm going to give you a hint.
Via Dolorosa.
Excellent. Via Dolorosa. Brilliant.
Is
And
that
what
the
is
Eche,
Yeah, the Ecce Homo, right.
Yeah.
This is the man, the arch. Remember at first picture I showed you, Damascus Gate, and below Damascus Gate, we found 3 arches built by Emperor Hadrian in 135 AD, and he called it Aelia Capitolina. Aelia Capitolina. And by the way, the same gate that was excavated under Damascus Gate is the same gate here from the same period, 135 AD. So this is one arch we see, which is the left arch. They have 3 arches, and inside to the right do not exist today, but archaeologists, they know. There's a bigger arch and then a third arch. So what is left is here, this arch. So this is when Emperor Hadrian rebuilt Jerusalem. He reused the stones that was destroyed. We only have these 4 arches only found in Jerusalem, one in Damascus Gate, and one in the Via Dolorosa, one nearby the Holy Sepulchre in a Russian church. Actually, three. So Jerusalem was smaller. So we know the dimension of the 2nd century AD Jerusalem. And anyone can have it. This is very hard to guess. This is a Catholic church, Saint Savior Church, all right, in the old city of Jerusalem, Saint Savior Church. But look how the people are dressed. Look how the kids playing on the streets of Jerusalem. Nothing changed. Jerusalem did not change much, by the way, till today in the old city. But this is an old picture, They used to deliver their goodies on donkeys. This is the first Amazon Prime, all right? On donkeys. And imagine that the guy who delivered these goodies, there is no home numbers like today. He knows the families. So he delivered the goodies to each family household. So anyway, so I know exactly where is this location. It's not far from my home, by the way, in the old city. It's another picture of Ecce Homo with, look how the woman having the water delivery on their head. And I remember as a kid, I'm not old, but I remember as a kid when they used to bring the water to the old city. And a guy on a donkey will come and have the jars of water to deliver it to the households, and the woman delivering water too. Only the British brought the pumping water in recent days, 1917. So we didn't have pumping water. Every home in the old city will have a cistern too. All right, this is a cool picture. This is the heart of the Via Dolorosa. Do you know what they are holding on their hands? Once a year. Yeah, go ahead. Bill, did you say anything?
Yeah, no, I said it was a cross. They carry the cross.
Excellent. Now, there is a custom that started in the 1st century when Jesus walked the Via Dolorosa, Good Friday. His disciples, after a week, wanted to remember what happened. They went after a week and after a week following the road from condemnation to Calvary. This tradition continues till today. Imagine that. It's been cut throughout history. In 1948, because of the war, in 1967, and whenever there was a war, it was cut. But I know these guys, grandfathers. I know their families, Kamar family, Yusuf Kamar family, that carried the wooden cross in Good Friday procession. And guess what? Till today, the same families, traditions do that. And till today, their sons and grandsons do the same thing. So these are my friends, all from the old city. I know them all. So this is a custom and a cultural thing we do each Good Friday. All the Christians come and carry the cross through the stations. Like the pilgrims, when they come, they carry also crosses. But
Are they all Palestinians, Andre?
yes, Palestinian Christians from the old city of Jerusalem. Actually, they are all my neighbors. I know them all by name. So their grandparents, because, you know, it's hard to get to the cross because there's so many Christians want to do it, but they inherited carrying the cross from their grandparents. So the more, if your family was doing that through generations, you have the right to do that. So this kind of symbolic, we are here, we are the Christians, we're proud to be Christians here. So this is the heart of the Via Dolorosa. This is nearby station 3 and 4. It's another old picture of the old city, the Via Dolorosa and the arches. You know, they add arches, right? They add arches and they add the houses adjacent. Someone get married, family, add an arch, add a home, add an arch and a home. So they become all connected. Like in the Bible, in Capernaum, in my father's house, there are so many rooms, right? And dwellings. Everything is connected. Also another old picture, and anyone can guess what station is this? What station is this? Anyone can guess what station is this? I will give you the course, the Lord's Prayer, as a gift if you guess what station is this. I will send you a link with the Lord's Prayer as a gift.
It's where they grabbed Simon of Cyrene to help Jesus up the...
You're getting near, Bill. You're getting near. You're getting near. So I'm going to give you a hint. This is my playground. What station is my playground? Station 8.
8.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see people coming. Here is my home to the right side, just from here to the right. From the last group, I took them to my house, nearby my house, and I got them the special bread. I don't know. They remember that. They said that was the peak for them, but that was fun. Anyway.
That's a great bakery you have there too.
Till today, I go in the old city and I buy from that bakery. And anyway, so this is station 8, where Jesus cried on the daughters of Jerusalem. Daughters of Jerusalem means the villages of Jerusalem, and predicted the destruction. So these are locals from the 19th century doing the Stations of the Cross. All right, local community. You see how they dressed. All right. This is like from 1927. This is a taxi company for a Christian from the Tannus family. All right. That they have different like places. They function from Haifa, they function from Jaffa, Nablus, and in Galilee. And what it says, they go even to East Jordan. So this is when transportation was open to Jordan, to Lebanon, to even Syria. My father and my grandfather was telling my father, and that they can go one day in the evening. They love to go to Lebanon for a dinner, stay one night, 2 nights, and come back, and then go to Syria. So only like later it was all divided. So it was all Great Syria called one land, one land. It was divided between the British Mandate and the French Mandate. Lebanon took the French Mandate. And Sykes-Picot, when the West wanted to have a hold on the East, so they divided all these countries. So we didn't have Iraq or Syria or Lebanon, or it was all called Great Syria, one land. So this is also another picture of the old city of Jerusalem and the walls of Jerusalem. I'm not sure where is this. I'm not sure where is that picture. But I see some army here, some army. Actually, I'm from Jerusalem and I'm not sure where is this. Isn't that weird, right? Probably this is part of the old wall. The old wall. There's a Western wall today, and there was a wall that Jews went to pray before praying in the Western wall. Yeah, that's the old wall. Yeah, I know from the arches. Today there's buildings here. That's the old wall. The only Dutch windmill in Jerusalem here. So this is the Jewish neighborhood Mishkanot Sha'ananim outside Jaffa Gate area. Okay. And it's amazing. Can you see all the Judean desert in the back, right? You see how less building are here today? Like less building, so much less building. Because I know the area, it's a big difference. Okay, anyone can tell me what gate is this? I'm gonna point for you some things here. Anyone can tell me what gate is this?
Lion's Gate.
Excellent, Lion's Gate. And look at the archaeology here. Now we don't have anything like this here. This used to be the sheep gate. Below this gate, there's another gate. And this is where Jesus went with his disciples, went all the way to heal the paralyzed man at the pools of Bethesda. They will enter through the sheep gate. And guess what? Till today, this gate is kind of not an important gate. This gate today even is known filthy gate, not clean. So when Jesus is coming through the sheep gate, this is where they've done all the sacrifices, and the disciples were like, Jesus, why are you shaming us? Why are you taking us through the least and the worst and unclean gate ever? But he knew he gonna meet someone and change his life. So till today, we carry the same reputation. This is like not a recommended gate. It's not really a clean area. Anyway, so here is all excavated out today, okay? You know what kind of tree is this? What kind of plant is this? Sabra. Cactus. They used it as fences in earlier days to protect the city, cactus. This is also another picture from back a little bit of the Lion's Gate. Anyone can tell me what gate is this? See the old buses. Anyone can tell me what gate is this?
Newgate.
Newgate is a little bit further. This is Herod's Gate. Look at the buses here. There was a bus station. And I want you to point here. You see another arch. This is also another gate from the back. It's Herod's Gate. Today, this one is not used. Only this one. You see it. This is East Jerusalem, Salah ad-Din Street. And remember, I told you about the pulleys here. You see here the round-shaped stones where they build all the way up higher. And look at the bread, the pita bread. You see this kid selling the pita bread, fresh pita bread. Probably this is 1900s picture, because from the buses and the old buses we can see trucks with the shift gear. So this is also a view of Jerusalem from Anyone can tell me from where is this view? Not the Mount of Olives. Anyone can guess? From Mount Scopus. Mount Scopus. The British were stationed at Mount Scopus. And guess who was stationed in Mount Scopus in ancient times? The Roman 10th Legion, before destroying Jerusalem 70 AD, was stationed at Mount Scopus. Why? Because it looks a big overview over the city. Today, there is the Hebrew University on the top now, the Hebrew University. Anyone can tell me where is this neighborhood? By the way, this is an Italian church, but today this is what we call Mea Sha'arim. Mea Sha'arim, that is outside the vicinity of the new gate all the way, and the other side is Jaffa Road, and here is Mea Sha'arim. And by the way, today I live just not far from here, 5 minutes from here. Mea Sha'arim is a religious Jewish neighborhood, which means Mea Sha'arim, 100 gates, 100 gates. Donkeys was used a lot. That was important, the donkeys. The taxis of Jerusalem, the donkeys. Now, do you see this building? There are few of them today, only 4 in the country all over. And this is a barracks where the British used to be there inside. So it's protected, a barracks is protected inside, and there's small windows. And this kind of a checkpoint, you see the British Army. So it's from the British mandate. And also, they were from the Jordanian time too, barracks. There are only four in Jerusalem. So this is the Lutheran church. You see the Mount of Olives. And you see the mosque, Al-Umar Mosque. And in the far horizon, the Judean hills, All right, we have few pictures to go. So this is probably a celebration of the Turkish Empire. And this is the Turkish flags. And look at the Turkish army here with the soldiers, with the horses, and most of the sheikhs, which are the heads of the villages here. So probably this is a celebration for the months of Ramadan, you know, the Muslim feast. And by the way, the feast just started today, is the first day where they fast. So there is a big celebrations, would be. So this is Ramadan. Now, anyone can tell me what gate is this? And what is this building? Think. And this is during 1967 war. Sorry, 1948, sorry. It's written down. Newgate. This is Newgate, all right? This is Newgate, opened 1888, all right? And there was a lot of fights because that was on the main road between East and West Jerusalem. This is the Christian quarter. And this is my school. This is my school, the Frere School, the French school. So this is from 1948. This is the capsule I told you about, where it's like a barracks, an army barracks. There is only one left, which is this one. On the way between Jerusalem and Bethlehem, you can see it. So they kept it till today in modern days. All right, few pictures left. This is the borders between Palestine and Lebanon. Rosh Nekra. in the north of Israel today. And this is in the 1930s, where people crossed from Palestine all the way to Lebanon. So this is a very rare picture, by the way. And look here, what flag is this?
That looks British, right?
Yes, the British Mandate. Very good. During the British Mandate. British were from here 1917 till 1948. So this is in 1930s. So from the signs of the pictures of flags, we can know the time of history. And many people will cross from here. You see, even cars will cross. You see this car? We cross from Lebanon to Palestine. I have very few to go. You see here the British consulate. It's someone's visa in the 1944, someone's visa. I have to inform you that I have been authorized to grant you a visa for Palestine, valid for admission not later than October 5th, 1940. So probably someone visiting and the British gave them a visa, an official that visited. Oh, it's Frere Joel Bloomberg, maybe a priest, Italian priest that want to come. He got a visa from the British. Another picture for Jerusalem, looking at Damascus Gate, and this is the area from the Garden Tomb. The Garden Tomb, the skull, there's a cemetery on the top. This is the view from there. And you see the old city. You see how people dress, women, how they dress. Another picture here because of the war. It's the police. Now this is from Israel time, police. Sitting in Hebrew, also police. This is the area of the Western Wall too. Also Jerusalem, with the Judean desert in the back. The train. You know, there was a train from Jerusalem to Jaffa functioning till the 1990s. And today they moved the train station from the area of the German colony. They moved it all the way to the south of Jerusalem. But this is from the German colony. There was a station. And I remember I took that train, 1990. I took that train all the way from Jerusalem to Jaffa. Very nice views, very nice. So the Turks were the first to build the railways, the Turks. That was the main transportation in the 19th century. So people will mostly come from Jaffa to Jerusalem. And you have to understand, like Jaffa was like the center of trade. Everyone from all the Middle East will come to work in Jaffa because that was the main seaport in the 19th century. That was the place you can make income, and that was the place where like there is work, like New York today, right? Everyone goes to New York for work and income. And my grandfather came all the way from Lebanon, and he used to work on the train. And listen for this story, short story. And when he comes to Jaffa, this is where he met my grandmother. My grandmother was from Jaffa and he was from Lebanon. So he was a train. He was like driving the train and working in the train. I don't know exactly what, but he was. So every time he came to Jaffa, he met my grandmother, and this is how they got married. So that's the train. So my dad was born in Jaffa, okay? This is the British Army. You see the British Army coming. Probably this is Jerusalem, Jaffa Gate area. Everyone's going out to look at the British Army. It's bringing all the modernity to Israel. Suddenly the post office, everything is arriving on time when the British were here. And when the British were here, they gave the Christians good, really good positions to work. It was kind of the Turkish rule was oppressive for the Christians. And then there was the riots when the British were here, because there were riots between who gonna take the land. The Jews didn't like the British. And also the Palestinians didn't like the British. Can anyone tell me what hotel is this? In West Jerusalem, very famous hotel.
King David.
Excellent, King David Hotel. That was, good job. That was built in the 1930s, but in July 22, 1946, the Irgun is a Jewish extreme military that had put bombs, 350 kilograms of explosive, okay, because the British had their offices in the hotel, all right? And at 11:30 a.m., it was exploded. And so the bomb attacks is not something recent in Jerusalem. It happened throughout history. This is another image of the attack over against the British. Of course, there were also attacks from both sides, from Jews and from Palestinians. And finally, the British gave up. They said, we cannot, because they promised both. They promised the Jews the land and they promised the Palestinians land. But the British cared for the British. It was a British colony here. Anyway, there's some riots taking place like today. There's some riots took place today. And nothing new in Jerusalem. And these are the Turkish soldiers. So this is a newspaper speaking about, because of that attack, the hotel, 93 were killed in Jerusalem, 93. 14 British officers, victims of bomb planned by Jewish terrorists. Anyway, the same news like today. We have the same news, nothing changed. Anyway, anyone can tell me where is this road? There is hints of some buildings. What road is this? I'm pointing for an important building. This is West Jerusalem, by the way. Okay, this is the YMCA, West Jerusalem. This is David Street, what we call today. All right, this is the center of Jerusalem. This is the most expensive street in Jerusalem today, David Street. It's very modern today, by the way, very modern. Anyone can tell me where is this? What road in Jerusalem is this? This is Jaffa Road. Back is Jaffa Gate down. This is West Jerusalem. Nowadays, the train run over this road. It used to be the cars, and recently, 15 years ago, there's a train running here. This is the bank, a British bank, British building. This is the only building standing today in this area built by the British, okay? A British bank. I live not far from here, by the way. I live in the backside here. Also part of the Western Wall, you see here the slabs of stones, part of the Western Wall. This is Herodian architect stones. We know that from the frame. Even in the picture, you see the frame. All right. This is the Western Wall. Again, this is the pillbox security barracks. They call it the pillbox, See the army here. Anyone can tell me where is this picture? Give you some hints.
The Church of the Nativity.
Great job. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, because I promised you, I'm gonna give you the Lord's Prayer. So I will put it on the chat, the link, and everyone can get the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. So I'm gonna put it for you in the link by the end. Good job, everyone. Great. Where is this? What seaport? Famous seaport.
Acre? Or is it Jaffa?
Jaffa. That's
It is
Jaffa.
Jaffa, okay.
That's Jaffa. Okay, great. Wonderful. Great. So good to see you, everyone. So I'm gonna give me just a second to put for you the link on the chat,